Hey, thanks for clicking on my channel. If you're a new or upcoming skincare business owner or just a new business owner overall and you sell products and you're looking for the best printer that will work for you, the budget that you have, then keep watching. In this video, I am going to go over two printers, a cheap one and probably like a mid-high-end one, to see which one would be better for you or which one you should choose for your business, and it doesn't really make a big difference. So if you've been searching for the perfect printer to print your product labels, then this is a video for you. So the first printer we're going to go over is the Canon MG2522 all-in-one printer. It is not wireless, it needs a cable, but it's also a very affordable printer. It is, if you purchase it online currently, it is $49 on Walmart currently. However, if you go inside of Walmart, you can get it for cheaper, because after I purchased mine, I purchased mine this year, early up in the year. And I did pay $49 for it, but when I went inside Walmart, I noticed that it was cheaper. It was about $10 or $15 cheaper. You can get it up to even like as low as like $30 inside of Walmart. So definitely go inside and check it out first before you purchase it online. What you really want to know is it going to print quality skincare labels for you or just product labels overall? Yes, it will. Now, is it going to be perfect? I don't think the quality is as good as my more expensive printer. However, I have used a Canon printer before this one to print product label, which is the Canon MX922. I think Canon MX922, but that one is discontinued. And when I tell you the quality on that was a photo printing printer. It was wireless and it was amazing. Like, it printed my labels really well. However, that stopped working and I upgraded to an HP, but I also own a Canon, this cheaper version of the Canon MG2522. I use it to print a few circle labels for another company that I'm trying to start up, and I would say the labels came out fine. Like, they're readable, it wasn't smudge, it wasn't totally bad. And I saw some reviews of this same printer from other business owners online, and they had similar situations where it wasn't bad. This printer is literally for someone who is, let's say, just starting out and you don't have $100 budget to buy an expensive printer. You just don't have the funds to do that. You can get away with using a cheaper printer like this. You can definitely purchase this and print your labels. Now, will I say you can use this to print your labels forever? I'm going to be very honest. I don't think I'll use it forever, for long term, but you can get away with using this. Like, if you're doing simple labels, not too much color, and you need to print your labels and get them out at home for your business, you can start off with this, and your budget, you have minimal amount of budget to work with. Definitely get this printer. The only thing, what I'll say the downfalls of this printer is it is not wireless. But for me, that wasn't an issue, because when I am printing my products, I'm literally right beside my computer. My printer is right beside me. So I don't mind it not being wireless. I'm not trying to use it to print documents. If I need to print documents, I'll come on the computer and print it. So that's why it worked for me. It was perfectly fine, and you can get away with it, right? So this is a nice, decent printer for a beginner. Another question that you might ask is, how long does the ink last? Is it readable? Things like that. The ink lasting and not rubbing off on your printer really depends on the type of printer. So you can buy an expensive printer and it will still rub off eventually, because it's a regular inkjet printer. The type of printers that have ink that won't rub off, like in the manufacturer quality labels, those are laser jet printers. We're going to get into those as well. The next printer that we're going to speak about is a printer that I've been using since I think 2021 to print my products, and I'm going to post pictures of my current labels and how they look and how good the quality is my HP Envy Pro 6455 printer. Now, the perks of this printer is, one, the quality is amazing. People have mixed reviews, but when I use this to print my labels, the quality is amazing. It does what it needs to do. Also, another perk, I'm not sure if Canon also has this feature. I will look at it, and if it does, I'll post it below. But HP has a HP ink replenishing program. Now, let me explain. What this is a game changer for every and anyone who prints labels at home. Because ink is expensive. Even if you purchase generic ink is expensive. The last time I was able to purchase generic ink was for my Canon MX922, and they don't provide, the pricing was amazing. These new printers that they're creating, even when you get the generic ink, it's still just a little bit dollars difference. And sometimes, honestly, to me, I purchased the generic ink for the Canon MG2522, and I was just like, it's, you know, just a couple dollars saved. With my HP Envy Pro, being a part of the ink replenishing program that I pay, when you just started out, you're like at $4 or so a month. You get like a few months. Hold on, wait, let me remember. When you start, sometimes it has like different promotions, like you might get a few months free, or you might get it for $2, but then after a certain threshold, then the monthly fee goes up to like $5, because I think I'm paying currently about $5. I will verify that for you, but I'm definitely paying, I'm not paying more than $6 a month for this. Why this works for me is because I'm printing a lot of labels. So what that means is that I'm using a lot of ink. Ink by itself costs a lot of money. It's basically the same price as the printer. And even if it's not the same price of the printer, by the time you purchase because you have to buy colored and you have to buy black ink, by the time you purchase those cells, and you can't buy the little container, it might as well buy the XL, right? If you're printing labels, by the time you purchase 2 of those, you just bought a new printer. So that's why the monthly system works, and it works for me completely. And if you're a business owner and you're able to sacrifice that, put it in your, your taxes as a business expense, because it works out if you're working from home. When my ink runs out, sometimes it runs out in the middle of the month. Before my ink, as a matter of fact, before my ink goes out, because my printer is connected to my computer, which is connected to the internet, and I'm connected to the program, before my ink runs out, it sends the HP replenishing program a message that my ink is low before it actually finishes, and they send me new ink. So by the time my ink finishes, I have new ink coming in the mail. Or if it doesn't come in the mail, like if it's not in the mail, it's already here. So all I have to do is replace and put in. With the generic ink, if you put a generic ink in there, their system picks it up and says it doesn't recognize it, that ink, so they can't replenish that ink if you're a part of the program. However, if you're a part of the program, you won't need to use generic ink, so you'll have that in there. So what happens is you don't have to worry about running out of ink, and you don't have to worry about this big cost. This big cost each time you run out of ink, or if you don't have to think about, oh my gosh, can I print this much labels? Like, yes, you can print this much labels, because guess what? They're going to keep replacing it throughout the month. So if you need ink 3 times throughout the month, you're going to get ink 3 times throughout the month with that monthly fee. And that's why it works. And that's why I agree with it, and that's why I think it works. This is from my personal experience, and this is why I like it, and this is why I like the HP printer. So definitely look into it. With the HP printer program, you get a certain amount of pages that you can print. It's a whole thing, but I've never went over the pages. Like it works out for me. It works out for me. Like, it's amazing. The amount of money that I'm seeing that I'm saving from not purchasing like a full ink up front, it works out for me. And I'm going to link to their actual program below, so you can take a look in it for yourself and go through the details and fine tune it to see what you like and what you don't like. But those are definitely the perks of using an HP printer and signing up for the HP ink replenishing program. This is not a sponsored video. I'm speaking from my personal experience and from the products that I personally use. All right, I just need to put that out there, because I'm listening to myself and I sound like an ad, but I'm not. Like, I just like the fact that I just keep getting ink when my ink runs out, and I'm saving a little bit more money, right? So those are the perks of it. It is an all-in-one printer. It is wireless, but honestly, I just use it to print my product label, print documents at home for the kids, and maybe if I'm printing something for my phone. That's it. So it works for me. Any downfalls I'll say of it is the price. you know, but will it be like a disadvantage because it works out, it's worth it in a way. So I'll say, because I paid $100 and I want to say $30 for it, around there for it. But it's the best 100 and change that I've spent on a printer in a long while. And remember, the times that we're living in, printers are more expensive than they usually are now because everybody's working from home. So that's the price that I paid for it, and it works perfectly fine for me. And it prints quality labels. What I will say though is that when I print my labels, I don't use them right away, because when you use them right away, sometimes it's going to smudge because it's so heavy, especially if you print on the high quality feature. That's a lot of ink. So I usually leave it overnight to have it dry and set. But if you do need it now, then go ahead. But I would recommend printing them the night before, have it dry, and then you use it, because it's beneficial to you, and it makes, you know, it prevents that sweating feature that happens sometimes. So yeah, definitely take a look into that. So that's your, like, I would say mid-expensive option. Another option is the laser printers. I've looked into these printers, but I've never used them before, but they have really good reviews and I've seen them used before, but it just wasn't in my budget at the time to get one of them. So this is the one that we're going to talk about. Okay, so the next printer is LaserJet printer, HP LaserJet printer. They have different brands, but when I was looking into a LaserJet printer, I was shown the HP LaserJet printer for colored. Now at the time they were $300. Now you can get them from $300 up to about $600. So you gotta shop around, and if you have the budget for it, go for it. But here's the kick. Why everyone wants a LaserJet printer is because if you're making body products and let's say it gets wet, the ink doesn't run off, it stays on it. So it's not going to run off in water, like it literally stays on that paper. You understand? So that's why you also, one more thing, if you're going to get, you know, LaserJet printer, might as well you get weatherproof printer paper as well. So that's another tip. But yeah, so a lot of people want it because the ink stays on, it doesn't rub off in water, oil doesn't rub it off. So that means the ink will last a longer time with LaserJet printers. The disadvantage of a LaserJet printer is the price. It is very expensive. The cheaper ones though, this is why I say basic labels turns out cheaper, because if you want a cheaper LaserJet printer, then you need monochrome. Monochrome is black and white, so that means your label has to be in black and white in order to use a monochrome printer. That way you can get a LaserJet monochrome printer, which will, you know, have your labels lasting longer. The more expensive LaserJet printers are the colored ones, of course, but the good thing about them is their ink lasts very, very long. Their ink lasts very, very long, and a lot of these new printers are coming out with the same thing that I mentioned about the HP ink replenishing system. A lot of these new printers have that same system, even the LaserJet, where you could, I don't think it's $5 a month, but they can replace the ink for you. You understand? So you won't have to worry about it. But usually those ink, from my research, last a longer time. So that's why some people purchase them. But if your budget isn't up there, honestly, you can work with that $30 Canon printer and get the job done. You can go to the middleman and get the HP 100 and change printer, and you can get really good labels as well. So that is my tip for today with printers and printing, you know, for your skincare business. Also, if you haven't watched my video on how to create your labels for free and print them at home, definitely take a look at that. And while you're at it, look at how I print mine through Maestro and Online Labels. So with that said, have a wonderful day. Thank you for watching my video, and good luck in your business. Bye.